It was early in the morning. Your alarm clock buzzed loudly in your ears, the same way it did every morning, but today you didn't move. You weren't ready to wake up. Not today. You turned around in bed, your arm lazily reaching out to hit the snooze button with a frustrated sigh. Your heart felt too heavy, your eyes stung, still swollen from all the crying last night. You hugged the blanket tightly, hoping maybe sleep would come again and take the pain away, but it didn't. 10 minutes passed. The alarm rang again. You groaned softly and sat up slowly. You placed your elbows on your knees, leaned forward, and let your palms cover your tired face. A deep breath escaped your lips. You ran your fingers through your messy hair, trying to organize your thoughts. Every morning you used to wake up excited, ready to see him, your cold CEO, John Jungkook. You had worked beside him for 3 years, but for the last 1 year, you started falling deeper into love without even realizing it. From small smiles to small glances, your crush had quietly turned into something real, but you never told him. You were scared. What if he didn't feel the same? Now you knew the answer. Yesterday he got engaged, and this told you everything you want to know, that he doesn't have any feelings for you. You swallowed the lump in your throat and looked at the time. It was 7 a.m. You sighed and whispered to yourself, "You have to move on, Ryan. It's over. He's not yours." You dragged yourself into the bathroom. The cold water on your face didn't wash away the sadness, but at least it helped you wake up. You took extra time today with your makeup. You applied concealer twice to cover the dark circles under your eyes, some blush on your cheeks to hide the dullness, and bold lipstick shade to look strong even though you felt broken inside. Looking into the mirror, you whispered, "Smile, Vine, he's just your boss, nothing more." You walked out to the living room, still fixing the strap. Your mom peeked out from the kitchen, surprised. "Vine, you're ready early today? Come, breakfast is almost done." You shook your head and replied softly, "No, Mom, I'm not hungry." Her brows furrowed, confused. "Not hungry? You always eat before work. You said breakfast is important." You avoided her gaze and grabbed your bag. "I said I'm not hungry, Mom. I'll eat later. Bye." Before she could stop you, you closed the door behind you. You never skipped breakfast. You were always health conscious, but today nothing felt normal. While waiting for your cab, your phone buzzed. You lazily unlocked it, not expecting anything. But then your heart skipped. A message from him. "Come to the office on time. We have an important meeting today." You stared at the screen for a long second. No good morning, no how are you, just cold professional words, like always, like nothing happened, like your heart wasn't shattered. You sighed and rubbed your tired eyes, whispering to yourself, "You're just his secretary, Wine, nothing more." You took a deep breath and smiled slightly, not out of happiness but strength. It's okay, if he's meant to be in your life, he will be. Don't ruin your career for this love. Love is just a part of life, it's not a whole life. You have a lot to achieve. You looked at the sky. The sun was just rising, but your world already felt dark. Still, you walked forward, trying to leave your feelings behind. To the world, you were just a secretary. To your heart, he was everything, but now he belongs to someone else. And you belong to yourself. You reached the office and slowly stepped into the office space. As soon as you walked in, you noticed something strange. Your colleagues were smiling, laughing, celebrating. Everyone had a box of chocolates in their hands. "What's happening?" you whispered to yourself, confused. You didn't remember anyone's birthday. Before you could think, Maria, your close friend and co-worker, came running towards you with a bright smile. "Hey, Vine," she said cheerfully, "here, this is yours." She handed you a shiny box of chocolates, beautifully wrapped in red and gold paper. You blinked. "What is this?" Ria giggled. Our CEO, I mean our boss, Mr. John, told the security guards to distribute them to everyone today. You looked at her, even more confused. Why? Maybe because of his engagement, she replied with a wink, celebrating it in his own cold CEO style. Your fingers froze on the chocolate box, your lips parted slightly, but no words came out. Your face dropped. You looked down at the box. Your heart starts to beat faster, this time not in excitement but in pain. Ria noticed immediately why. She asked with a soft voice, You are not happy? You don't like chocolates? He forced a small smile. Yeah, I hate sugar. You can have this. You pushed the box into her hand before she could say anything else. Wine, wait. But you didn't wait. You turned around and walked quickly towards the elevator. Your chest felt heavy again, like someone was pressing a stone on your heart. You whispered to yourself, he never smiled before, never showed feelings, but now he's giving chocolates for his engagement. A bitter smile touched your lips. If this was our engagement, I would have eaten the whole box happily, but now this feels like a gift for my broken heart. The elevator opened and you stepped in. You stared at the shiny mirror inside. Your own face looked unfamiliar. You were wearing your favorite navy blue shirt and pencil skirt. Your lipstick is bold. Your face is covered with makeup to hide the sadness. But the pain in your eyes, you couldn't hide it. You reached the CEO floor. You stepped out, took a deep breath, and walked toward Jungkook's cabin. You knocked gently. Get in, his cold voice came from inside. You opened the door and entered. Morning, Mr. John, you said softly. No smile, no glow in your voice, just plain tired. Jungkook was sitting at his desk wearing glasses in his focused on his computer screen. But at your greeting, his left eyebrow raised. No good morning, he asked, looking up. You blinked a little confused. Good morning, you replied again. He tilted his head slightly. Good morning again. You looked down. You didn't want to talk too much. You just wanted to get this day over with. You told me there is an important meeting. You reminded him. Jungkook leaned back slightly in his chair. Don't you know? You are the one who scheduled it, right? I'm sorry, you said quickly. Yes, it's in half an hour. He nodded. All right, prepare the conference room for it. You gave a short nod and turned to leave. But just as you were about to open the door, he spoke again. You're looking different today. You froze. Your fingers stopped on the doorknob. You slowly turned your head to look at him. His gaze wasn't cold now, it was studying you from tip to toe. His eyes moved from your hair to your lips. That bold lipstick shade doesn't suit you. You immediately bit your lower lip, feeling embarrassed. He continued, Your makeup doesn't look like your daily style. You rubbed your cheek shyly, not knowing what to say, then his eyes locked with yours again. Your eyes, they look swollen and dull. You blinked fast, your chest tightened. Did you cry last night? He asked quietly. Your heart skipped a beat. He noticed. How? You never told him anything. You never even looked sad in front of him. You looked down quickly, hiding your face. No, Mr. John, you lied. I couldn't sleep because of some work. There was a short silence between you two. Jungkook poked his cheek with his tongue, a habit he did when he was thinking. Can I go now? You asked. He gave a small nod. Yeah. You quickly walked out of his cabin, closing the door gently behind you. As soon as you were alone in the hallway, you pressed your hand to your chest. Your heart was beating so hard, not from love, but from confusion, pain, hope. How did he notice all that about me? Your swollen eyes, your different makeup, your lipstick shade. You leaned against the wall and closed your eyes. One second I feel like he loves me, but the next second I remind myself he's engaged to someone else. You sighed deeply, your eyes stinging again. He just said it casually, maybe because we have worked together for so long. That's all. You shook your head, wiped the corner of your eye, and pushed yourself off the wall. You walked toward the conference room, slowly trying to calm yourself. Inside the conference room, you fixed the chairs, placed the files neatly, arranged water bottles for the guests, and tested the projector. Your hands were busy, but your mind wasn't. Your mind was with him, Jungkook, your cold CEO, the man you loved silently for a year. Now someone else would hold his hand, now someone else would smile beside him in photos, now someone else would get chocolates from him every year on their anniversary. You closed your eyes and took another deep breath. Focus on work, Wine. This is your dream job. Don't mess it up for love. You looked at the neat table and nodded to yourself. You were ready for the meeting, but not for the rest of the day, not for seeing his face again, not for pretending you were fine, but you had to because that's what love is sometimes silent, strong, and heartbreaking. After a while, you slowly walked back to Jungkook's cabin and knocked on the door. His deep voice replied without looking up from his laptop. Come in. You stepped in and said quietly, the conference room is ready, Mr. John. The clients are on their way. He looked up, nodded once, and said, okay, let's go. He stood up from his chair, buttoned his black suit jacket, and grabbed the file on the desk. You turned around and began walking towards the elevator. Jungkook walked beside you in silence. Usually, you would speak something, maybe a work update, maybe a little joke, maybe even just a simple compliment about his tie. But today, your lips were sealed. You didn't even glance at him, you were ignoring him to not hurt yourself. Both of you reached the elevator, the metal doors opened, and you stepped inside first. He followed, standing close beside you. The silence between you was heavy. You kept your eyes on the glowing floor numbers. You didn't want to look at him. He cleared his throat. What happened to your tongue today? He asked, his tone calm but curious. You blinked slowly. He continued, you used to speak something, right? Even a small hello. You shook your head gently without saying a word. You didn't want to lie, and you didn't want to say the truth either. The elevator kept moving down, then suddenly it stopped on the 15th floor. A few employees were waiting outside. They looked inside and froze when they saw both you and the CEO standing there. They looked nervous, but before anyone could speak, Jungkook stepped back a little and gently grabbed your hand, pulling you closer to him. Your heart jumped in your chest at his touch. Get in, Jungkook told the employees. They quickly entered the elevator with shy smiles and whispered gently. You, however, were frozen. His hand had held yours, but you didn't let that feeling grow. You slowly pulled your hand away, pretending to fix your ID badge. You could feel Jungkook's eyes on you. You didn't need his gaze. The elevator started moving again. The space was silent except for the soft sound of the elevator music. Jungkook raised his hand and started fixing his hair. His long, wavy strands touched the top of his shoulder. He tucked some behind his ear. That's when your eyes noticed something, a red mark on the left side of his neck. Your breath caught in your throat. You blinked once, twice, but it didn't go away. It was your heart sank. Suddenly, your mind went back to last night. You remembered calling Jungkook around 10 p.m. for a file you couldn't find. He had picked up the call and said coldly, I'm in a hotel, what do you want? Before he could answer, you had heard a soft woman's voice in the background. I like you for this, Jungkook, she said sweetly. You had frozen then, and now this red mark confirmed it. They were together last night intimately after engagement. He didn't even wait. Your throat tightened. You looked away quickly. You blinked again and again, stopping the tears from falling. Stay strong, Wine. Don't show it. Don't cry here. You took a deep breath and looked down, pretending to check your file. The elevator finally reached the floor. You both have to step out. Everyone stepped out. You walked ahead, your heels clicking on the shiny marble floor. Jungkook walked beside you silently. Your chest was tight, your eyes felt heavy, but you didn't slow down. You entered the conference area and opened the door for him. Jungkook stepped in and turned slightly to look at you. His lips parted like he wanted to ask something, but you quickly looked away and started arranging the files on the table. The clients would arrive in minutes. You told yourself, smile, be strong, you're just his secretary. But deep inside, your heart was screaming, why Jungkook? Soon the clients arrived and walked into the conference room. Mr. John, good to see you again. One of the major clients, Mr. John greeted Jungkook warmly, shaking his hand. Then John looked at you and smiled. And you must be his secretary. You look absolutely elegant today. Your eyes widened slightly, but you smiled politely. Thank you, Mr. John. Jungkook's jaw clenched. You hadn't smiled at him the whole day, but now here you were smiling for another man, that too in front of him. Something twisted in his chest. The meeting began. Jungkook stood near the podium, explaining the project with a confident voice, while you sat right behind John, organizing the papers and presentation files. As Jungkook was explaining some key details, John leaned slightly and whispered in your ear, "You're really good at this smart and beautiful combo." You gave a fake smile just to keep the atmosphere professional, but Jungkook saw it. His blood boiled. John again turned and showed his fingers in a gesture telling you to smile more. You gave a small smile out of courtesy. Jungkook paused for a second during his presentation. He looked at you sharply. You felt his eyes but quickly turned your head away, ignoring him. That red mark on his neck was flashing again in your mind. You don't deserve my smile, Jungkook. You thought to yourself. After the meeting ended, everyone stood up and started leaving. John smiled at you again and pulled you into a side hug. Great work today, he said sweetly. You simply nodded with a small, fake smile and began packing up, closing the laptop, collecting the pen drive, and arranging the papers. Then John laughed when Jungkook spoke, standing behind you. I think John complimented you. You stayed silent, not even looking at him. You turned to him and said coldly, "At least that man knows how to make me smile." Jungkook's eyes darkened. You picked up your bag, ready to walk out. But in one quick move, he grabbed your wrist and pulled you towards him. Your body bumped into his hard chest. Your heart skipped a beat. Your hands pressed against his chest to balance yourself. Your eyes met his. In time felt still. His voice was deep. I should be the only one to make you smile. You stared at him in disbelief. I hate it when another man tries to flirt with you, he said. Eyes locked with yours. You had never seen this side of him. What's your problem? You asked, angry. You're the one I have been ignoring you because you. Because what? He asked, his grip loosening on your wrist. You said you had a physical relationship with your fiancé Jungkook after engagement, and now you're saying sweet things to me? He looked shocked and stepped back, letting go of your hand. Physical relationship? He repeated, confused. You pointed at his neck. Then what is that? That red mark on your neck? It's right. Don't lie. Suddenly Jungkook chuckled softly. You were surprised, Wan. You completely misunderstood. He said, running a hand through his hair. What do you mean? It's true. Yesterday was my engagement, he said seriously, but I broke it. Your mouth parted in shock. You? What? Why? He took a deep breath and looked directly at you. Because I love you. Your heart thudded loudly. What? You whispered. Yes, he nodded. I love you, One. Do you really think I would notice every little thing about you? Your makeup, your mood, your behavior without loving you? You blinked, your heart confused but happy. But that girl in the hotel, she said she liked you. She said that, Jungkook said, because I told her I don't like marriage, and she said I like you for this. She already has a boyfriend. We were never in love. your breath caught. He stepped closer. And I already loved someone else, that's why I broke the engagement. Your eyes softened, but your hand still pointed to his neck. Then what about this? He looked down at it and laughed softly. I was trying to straighten my hair first time. I didn't know how to use that ring properly. I burned my skin. It's not You blinked almost laughing through your tears. You straightened your hair? He nodded. Yeah, I just felt like trying it. Don't laugh now. You shook your head, smiling finally. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. He stepped closer and kissed your cheeks with both hands. I will never marry anyone except you, he whispered, kissing your forehead. Your lips curved. Thank you for saying that. You looked into his eyes, feeling warm for the first time today. Oh, by the way, you remember that chocolate box on your desk was that? He smiled as I was celebrating the cancellation of the engagement and I was going to propose to you soon. You gasped. What? He chuckled, pulling you into a tight hug. Your head rested on his chest. You are the one I want to spend my life with, Vine. He whispered. Only you. You are my peace, my strength, and my smile. No one else. You closed your eyes and hugged him tightly. I love you too, Jungkook, you whispered softly. He smiled and kissed the top of your head. That's all I needed to hear. Thank you for watching. If you like the story, please don't forget to subscribe.